Good morning, everybody. My name is Hillary Ritt, and I'm the Workforce and Adult Services Consultant with the Kentucky Department of Libraries and Archives. And I want to welcome you today to the webinar, Connecting with Your Local Community Action Agencies. The webinar today is being recorded, and there are live captions available. You can see if you click it, or you will see a message possibly at the top of your screen telling you that captions are available. If you aren't able to access them that way, I'm going to drop that in the chat. Another way to access captions, it's via stream text. So I'm going to put those in the chat there now, and you can access captioning if you want. Like I said, this webinar is being recorded, so it will be available at a later time. Also want to let you know that the slides from today's presentation are available in Blackboard Learn, and you can view those there. I've already talked about captions, so I want to introduce Caitlin Miller with the Community Action Agency. She is going to be presenting today with her colleagues, Melissa and Margie, and I'm going to actually start sharing Caitlin's slides now, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen, or my video. So let me share Caitlin's slides, and we're excited to have you all here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Like Hillary said, I am Caitlin Miller. I am the Opportunity Lead for Community Action Kentucky, and with me today I have Margie Meehan, who is our Program Lead, and Melissa McLean, the CSBG Program Administrator. And together we're going to share some information about the Community Action Network and how you all can partner with your local community action agencies in your counties. We always like to start with the Community Action Promise. It sets the stage for what it means to be a part of the Community Action Network and what we believe in as we develop and work within our communities. So the promise of community action is that community action changes people's lives, embodies the spirit of hope, improves communities, and makes America a better place to live. We care about the entire community, and we are dedicated to helping people help themselves and each other. The Kentucky Community Action Network is comprised of 23 community action agencies across Kentucky. Community Action Kentucky, myself, Margie, and Melissa work for, and we are the statewide association which gets the privilege of representing all of those agencies. Collectively, our network works to empower low to moderate income individuals and their family to obtain greater economic stability and long-term success. Every year, our agency sees hundreds of thousands of Kentuckians for a variety of services, and all 23 of the agencies provide critical programs and services that directly associate and address the social determinants of health. And also we look to address social determinants of justice and making sure that we are providing resources that move that family forward. Looking at our statewide network, collectively, the 23 community action agencies in Kentucky have an outreach office in every Kentucky county, so a physical presence in all 120 counties. They are comprised of nonprofit, private 501c3s, and in Jefferson County, they are part of the Louisville Metro government, so we have that one public entity. They are all founded and funded by the Community Services Block Grant. They are comprised of executive directors, and all of their executive directors have a seat on CAA's board. So that means we have 23 members of Community Action Kentucky's board. And we'll talk about this a little bit more, but they all use local decisions to meet individual community needs, which means that all of our community action agencies look different across the state. At this time, Melissa McLean's going to provide you all some more information on what it means to be a community action agency.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. So, Community Action is a local organization with the mission of reducing poverty through locally designed and delivered programs and services targeted to the specific needs of the community. So, I'm going to break down these bullet points just a little bit. Community Services Block Grant is the core funding, and it is the glue of a community action agency. To be designated a community action agency, you have to receive this funding. So community action agencies are as varied as the communities and populations they serve. No two CAAs will ever look alike. Each CAA may offer different programs and services based on the results of their annual community needs assessment. So the ROMA is, CAAs follow the ROMA cycle, which is the business management plan for continuous improvement. The cycle consists of assessment, which is the community needs, resources, and agency data. Then it goes to planning, and planning uses the agency mission statement and assessment data to identify results and strategies. So these are their programs and services. And then the next step in the cycle is implementation. This is implementing their programs and services to produce results. The next piece of the cycle is achievement of results. And this is observing the report progress. This is observing the results from their programs and services. And then we finally get to evaluation. And this analyzes the data and compares it with the benchmarks. Then the cycle begins all over again. It's a continuous loop. So now we'll talk a little bit about the community needs assessment. Agencies conduct the data-driven community needs assessments to inform their planning. Each agency must conduct a community needs assessment yearly. Many agencies also conduct focus groups as well as their needs assessment, but the focus groups are there to allow them to have the opportunity to speak with the community, different sectors of the community, to make sure that the needs assessment data is truly the needs of the community. So for instance, they may see on their needs assessment data that education's their #1 priority. But after conducting these focus groups and listening to the individuals there, maybe it's not education, it might become housing. So this is how they determine their needs and how they place their priorities on what they're going to do. CAAs address the multitude of short and long-term needs facing their households through a comprehensive range of coordinated programs. Now, local partnerships. Local CAAs coordinate programs and form partnerships with other organizations serving the community. These partnerships could include religious organizations, charitable groups, and community organizations. The overall goal is for all parties to assist Kentuckians. This could be your organization making referrals to the Community Action Network. And one of the most important pieces is that we're governed by a tripartite board, which fully participates in the development, the planning, the implementation, and the evaluation of the program to serve these communities. The board is made up of 1/3 members who are elected public officials and not fewer than 1/3 members who are persons chosen in accordance with democratic selection procedures adequate to ensure that members are representative of low-income individuals and families. And then the remaining 1/3 or the remainder of the members are from the private sector. This could be officials or members of business, industry, labor, religious, law enforcement, education, or other major groups and interests in the community served. All of these pieces tie together to help the low-income communities in Kentucky. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you, Melissa. So when we look at those community action agencies, Melissa touched on that they are really based in looking at their local community needs. Through this, programs and services offered vary by agency and even within those agencies, the counties that they serve. The CAAs operate a variety of grants that come from multiple funding streams, including federal, state, and local dollars. That can look like private and public partnerships. This allows us to, again, address the unique needs of their individual communities and continue to expand resources through the referral systems within their area. Community action agencies look at the whole family. And what that allows them to do is provide a combination of services to help a household succeed. We are going to look at how we can target the interrelated needs of multiple generations within a single household. What that could look like is a child that enters a Head Start program while the mother finishes her GED, and maybe the grandparent is provided Meals on Wheels so that they can have nutritious meals throughout the week. When we are able to address the whole household, we are creating a structure for success. And all of those parts are going to allow the family to create their own path to long-term sustainability. Now let's touch on Community Action Kentucky. We have, for more than half a century, advocated on behalf of individuals throughout Kentucky with a goal to end poverty and celebrate the accomplishments of the agencies that we serve. The mission of CAK is to build and strengthen the network of the Kentucky's community action agencies. And we do that in several different ways highlighted on this slide. We provide training and technical assistance to the agencies. We provide them tools and best practices, software. And then we provide opportunities to learn and to network through events such as our annual conference, training events, and to facilitate the opportunity to share issues and concerns that are happening across the network. We also act as a liaison to the government and other partners. We work to identify and address policy issues that impact low-income individuals and our agencies. And we try to create a partnership that allows us to improve the delivery and impact of our programs and services across the entire network. Through all of these action items and our mission, it allows CAK to instill and allow the agencies to improve the lives of the people that they serve. Community action is more than just Kentucky. We have a large support network that starts with the local agency, expands into state associations, CAK, and then develops into regional associations. We're members of the Southeastern Association of Community Action Agencies. And then there is a national association, the Community Action Partnerships. Through all of these levels of support, the network is able to hear more about best practices, provided training opportunities, and we're able to grow and better create and support programs that meet our missions. Community action has a national reach. There are over 1,000 agencies across the country covering 99% of United States counties. This includes Alaska, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. So now that we've provided some information on Kentucky's Community Action Network and our Community Action Kentucky Association, we're going to provide some history on the Community Action Network. Community action originated with the passage of the Economic Opportunities Act of 1964. This was part of President Johnson's War on Poverty. The picture on the slide here is actually from his tour of Appalachia, where he was coming to talk about poverty in the United States, and specifically in Kentucky. So the purpose of the Economic Opportunities Act was to mobilize human and financial resources to combat poverty across the nation. Through this act, it established the Office of Economic Opportunity and created the community action agencies. This act also created the Job Corps, work training and work study programs, legal services, and Head Start. When we think about this program, it was developed to encourage stakeholder involvement, not a welfare program. And you will see that remains in the Community Action Network today. Households and individuals that the agencies serve partner with the agencies and take an involvement in their lives because we are helping them to become better. President Reagan sought to reduce the role of the federal government in national anti-poverty efforts. And through that, he rescinded the Economic Opportunity Act. But what this did do is create the Community Service Administration, and it was replaced with competitive block grants that established the CSBG funds, which is the foundation of the community action agencies today. CSBG stands for Community Services Block Grant. He also saw the creation of the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or what you all may know as LIHEAP. So with the creation of the Community Services Block Grant, this is a federal block grant that is designated for the community action agencies. We like to say that this is what turns the lights on for the agencies and allows them to perform the work within their communities. States do have a responsibility to monitor the community action agencies who are receiving this funding. And you can see on the slides, and you can read at your own pace, the code that establishes the Community Services Block Grant. It is there for your use on the handout. And then I also want to show you that community action agencies are also founded in statutes here in Kentucky, and that is provided for you on this slide and the next slide, and allows you to understand a little bit about the activities that the agencies are designated to provide here in Kentucky. And that includes assisting with retaining employment, adequate health care, how we can help someone with their income, so financial support, and making sure that individuals have adequate housing and a suitable living environment. You'll see that it also speaks to the self-sufficiency, which is that goal of having the households work with the community action agency so that they are taking a role in their success. And there you go. There's the rest of that KRS for you to read. Now, we're going to move on into the programs. And Melissa did a great job of sharing with you all how programs at the agencies come to creation. We're looking at the needs of the community and how can we fit those gaps to better serve the individuals. And with that, it creates a wide range of service areas for all of the community action agencies. So what you're seeing here on this slide is an overview of the many program areas that a community action agency delivers on a daily basis. And these programs and services are going to look different based on the community action agency and the specific community or county in which the individual lives. So we always invite our partners to reach out to their local agency to explore and understand the ways that they are operating these programs and what's available for individuals. We're going to discuss a little bit of the programs individually over the next couple of slides. So first up, we have LIHEAP. LIHEAP is a program that's going to help someone with their utility assistance. It is administered in partnership with the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services. And this is a block grant received from the Department of Health and Human Services. Right now, we have LIHEAP subsidy which is running statewide at all 23 of the community action agencies. And households are able to come in and apply for a one-time assistance with their utility bills. And so if a household's interested, they can apply through December 16th or until funding is depleted. And they would apply at their local community action agency outreach office. Their local office is always determined by their county of residency. With LIHEAP, right, as we were sharing, we have LIHEAP subsidy running through December 16th. LIHEAP programs look different. So in the early part of the year, we operate a LIHEAP crisis program, which assists households when they are facing a heating crisis. We have also in the past operated LIHEAP components such as spring subsidy or summer cooling. So we always invite you to visit our website, which Hillary just put in the chat, and we will provide information on currently active or upcoming statewide programs. One of the other utility-related programs that we operate is the Home Energy Assistance Program, or commonly known as HEA. And this is to assist households with their utilities during those high energy cost months. So, you know, the winter or maybe the summer cooling months. This is what we refer to as a slot-based program, and it's in partnership with utility providers. Those partners are Kentucky Power, Duke Energy, Columbia Gas, LG&E, KU, and Delta. There are limited slots available. So if you have an individual that you would like to refer to their community action agency to apply for this program, they should be made aware that the slots are based on the utilities, their county, and the benefit type. We select households from a wait list based on lowest income first. And the benefit months and benefit amount awarded do vary based on the utility providers. Again, lots of information about this specific program and the partners can be found on our website. Utilize that link that Hillary put in the chat. One of the other programs that we're currently working on is disaster case management. This is in response to the tornadoes and the flooding in western and eastern Kentucky. This is through FEMA and in partnership with the state. And what we are able to do through disaster case management is facilitate a partnership between case managers at the community action agencies and impacted households. Case managers provide guidance, assistance, and referrals to obtain services and resources that allow the household to address the needs from the impacted disaster. They do have to have a disaster-related hardship in order to qualify for the services and live within a county that was designated a disaster under the disaster declaration. We are going to be looking for clients in this program to take an active role in their recovery, and they will work with the case manager to carry out a disaster recovery plan. If you have households that come to visit you that were impacted by the disasters, they could reach out to their local community action agency about disaster case management services. And together they can work to hopefully coordinate some services to address their disaster recovery needs. Next, we have Connect. Through this program, connectors can assist individuals with applications for Medicaid, K-CHIP, the SNAP program, Child Care Assistance Program, and qualified health plans through Connect. Through the Community Action Network of Kentucky, we have connectors in 84 counties. So if you're interested in finding your local connector, you're able to navigate to our website and find a list of all of our current connectors across the state. And those connectors are tasked with providing community outreach and education, which includes attending and planning community events, where attendees may benefit from education about the programs and assisting with applying for those applications, or speaking at businesses or at community meetings. A lot of times you might see a connector set up a table at your library so that people can come up and discuss with them the available applications or ask questions if they need to come up and reapply for any of those programs. And if you have any questions about Connect, Margie at CAK can help get you to either answer the question or help navigate you to your local connector. One of the other programs that is available statewide is weatherization. And the goal of weatherization is to create safer, healthier, and more cost-efficient homes. So we are looking to assist a household in reducing their energy waste, lower their utility cost, and also ensure the health and safety of those residents within the home.
Caitlin, I apologize to bother you. Your sound seems to be kind of gargly or garbled.
Oh, how long has that been going on?
Just past 20 seconds.
Okay, is it better now?
No.
Give me just a second. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
All right. Is it any better?
It still sounds kind of growly, and it's choppy.
Okay. Apologize for that.
That's okay. I don't know if you want to stop sharing your video. I don't know if that will help or.
Absolutely, I'll try that. Okay, is the
Let's
sound
see.
any better?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sure. Sorry about that.
It's okay. So I'll start back. Weatherization, the goal of weatherization is to create those safer, healthier, more cost-efficient homes. The program was created to reduce energy waste, lower utility costs, and ensure the health and safety of the residents within the homes. The weatherization program utilizes professionally trained crews and technicians to perform an in-depth energy analysis on a home. This allows them to determine ways to reduce energy consumption and save money on utility bills. This service is provided in all 120 counties. All right, transportation. I will preface this with we are now moving into some programs that are not operated in all of the community action agencies, again, because they are targeting the needs within their community. So transportation is available in many counties, and they might have access to a variety of transportation services provided by their local community action agency. These services could include fixed route, on-demand, or medical transportation. And these services could be at little or no cost to seniors, veterans, Medicaid recipients, or the general public. When we look at the transportation programs, they are ensuring that it's safe, affordable, and reliable transportation for the individuals in their communities. They want to make sure that the services are accessible, and they also ensure that the safety of drivers and vehicles is established. Drivers have background checks and are provided trainings to ensure that those riding on the buses and the vehicles can feel safe. I encourage, if you know someone who could benefit from transportation, to reach out to their local agency and see if services are available in their community. About half of the agencies across Kentucky operate Head Start or early Head Start programs. Head Start and early Head Start programs are laying the groundwork for youth to become confident, educated, lifelong learners. An early Head Start program can serve children from birth to age 3, and from 3 to 5, children can be served through the Head Start program. There are also migrant and seasonal Head Start programs that are tasked with serving the children of migrant and seasonal farm workers, and those programs are going from birth through the age of 5. Unique aspects of the Early Head Start programs is that they are engaging and supporting the entire family. So not only are the children receiving services and education throughout the day, but they're providing parental supports to help that whole family move forward. There is an emphasis placed on school readiness, and children also receive health and mental health services through their Head Start program. The staff at our programs are providing hands-on instruction, but they're also making sure that children are provided the individual learning needs to address and make sure that they are set up for success. And this could look like bringing in occupational therapists or in making referrals for when a child needs a little additional support to make sure that they're on the path to success. So this is to ensure the educational success and make sure that they are school ready when they leave our programs at 5. So while we've touched a little bit about some of the programs that are offered across the state or at some of our community action agencies, we know that the focus of today's conversation was how a local library could partner with a community action agency. And we're excited about this opportunity, and we know there are multiple ways that we could facilitate this partnership. We invite you all to start with contacting your local community action agency. This would be as a way to establish a referral pipeline, which might look like if you have an individual who comes into your facilities and they've expressed to you that they need some additional help, or the community action agency might refer someone over to the local library for services that you all provide, such as access to a computer, or maybe they need some books to continue their GED program. Those referral pipelines are a great way to ensure that everyone is supporting households and individuals as they move towards success. We invite you to ask about the specific services in your area. Maybe your local agency has a specific workforce development program for youth, or they have summer camp programs, or maybe they offer Zoom memberships for families. Asking about those services allows you to better refer individuals over to the community action agency. When you get that information about the services in your area, request to be put on the information listservs. This is a great way to get continuous information about what's going on with your local community action agency and upcoming programs, or any news that they'd like to share with the families. You can also, as Melissa was talking about, take part in those community services and surveys, or ask about being a member of the board. This is a great way to be at the ground level of what's happening in the Community Action Network. And through that, you can share what you believe your community needs and the gaps are. We ask that you provide opportunities for the agencies to share information about their program. Do you have a location within your facilities where they could post a flyer, or can you share across your social medias or newsletters as their information to help disseminate it across the community? Can you allow agency staff to come in person, whether as setting up a resource table or providing a meeting space? It's really important that individuals that are working with their community action agency have accessible meeting space and feel safe. And we know that a lot of people find that their library is that safe space for them, where they feel confident and have access to get to. One of the other examples we wanted to share was if you have circle time, provide that as an opportunity for your local agency to share about their child development programs, such as Head Start, or maybe invite the local connector to share about how to apply for K-CHIP programs or a qualified health plan. and also just working together to coordinate events that better serve the populations of your communities. So again, informing and inviting the agency if you have any events happening at your location. You know, do you have a kindergarten prep program during the summer, or a reading adventure challenge during the winter, and maybe the agency can take part in supporting that with you all. Now, I know Hillary shared our network page in the chat, and that's great to find your local agency. I'll also share my information with you all here, and you can feel free to reach out to me directly at caitlin@capky.org, or by calling our office and selecting the partnership option, and I can help direct you to the local agency so that you all can start that conversation about what a partnership looks like for you and your local community action agency. I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen and be a part of our morning. I hope we've provided you some information on the Community Action Network, who we are, and what our services look like across the state. And as always, stay in touch with us and reach out with any questions or ideas that you have so that we can all better serve the individuals across Kentucky. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Caitlin and Melissa and Margie. So if you've got questions now, you need to type those in the chat. I have a few questions, but you are welcome. What questions do you have? I think we have staff from Bullitt County and from McCracken County on here. So feel free to type in any questions you may have. And I've got a question. You mentioned the community assessment that you all do. Is that something that library staff or library directors could be part of those focus groups, or could they learn from those assessments? Is there any way that assessment information can be shared with library staff, or is that kind of kept private? And I just curious.
I would first ask you to speak with the local community action agency within the area.
Sure.
Yes, they absolutely could be invited to focus groups if that agency does in fact do a focus group. I would also recommend that you each take the survey. So most of our agencies have Facebook pages or website pages, and they'll put the survey link on their websites and in their Facebook. But yes, if you guys could take the surveys, that would be wonderful. You could reach out to your agencies about being on their focus groups. And if you need any help with that, please feel free to contact Melissa at capky.org and I will help you.
Thank you, Melissa. You mentioned about board members, and is that something, again, I would assume you have to talk with your local community action agency, but would that be something, I think you touched on that already, but is that something, the possibility for library staff to possibly join?
Yes, ma'am. But again, you would need to speak with your local agency to see when if they have openings and when openings might be coming up. Caitlin, I might have cut you off and I apologize.
You had exactly the information I was going to share.
Okay, I've got another question. So you mentioned about the Connect, and I think that's wonderful, to all the different services you provide there. Sometimes folks will come in the library and they need to help filling out a form. Does your staff, like if libraries needed to refer a person to a community action agency, does your staff help with filling out forms for Medicaid, Medicare, or is that not something you all do?
So yes, our connectors are available and actually can come to the library. So, you know, if somebody wants to meet at the library, our connectors are there all the time, and they should go to where the folks are, where they're needed,
Okay.
right? We don't
Right.
do Medicare, but we can make the appropriate referrals to the state health insurance program or to other agents in the area. We can find those for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited. Thank you, Caitlin. I was thinking about Head Start, and you had mentioned libraries. Several libraries do 1,000 books before kindergarten and do programs that encourage children from little infants all the way up to participate in that reading type program. So it sounds like that could be cross partnerships with libraries who are doing those types of programs potentially, and not everybody necessarily does, but if they wanted to share that information with their local community action agency about the children being served at community action agency, getting involved with the 1,000 books or 100 books or however many before kindergarten, that would be a possibility that libraries could promote that with your clients too.
Absolutely. And like I said, about half of the Kentucky Community Action Agencies operate Head Start, but all of them provide family development services. So even if your local agency is not a Head Start provider, they'll have families coming in their door, and I'm sure they'd love to share about programs like 100 books before kindergarten and 1,000 books before kindergarten, because that all encompasses in that childhood family development.
Mm-hmm.
And on that,
go ahead, Caitlin.
In fact, one of the things that comes to mind when you're talking about those kindergarten readiness is some of the agencies provide fatherhood development programs, and that would probably circle right around to the circle times or the craft hours coming in, and how do you create a healthy father? What does that look like? What is a healthy marriage? So those are some other avenues where all of the programs don't look the same, all the agencies don't look the same. Don't eliminate an opportunity to create a partnership just because you're like, oh, well, they don't operate that specific program. Well, they might have something that looks a little different. That would still be a great partnership.
No, that's exciting to hear, though, about that potential possibility. One more question, I think, unless anybody else, and feel free to type in the chat. These are things I thought of, but I know you all are working in the field, so the library staff who are participating, you all are going to think things better than me. My last question is about outreach staff, and if obviously outreach staff, they work their bookmobile so they can be working with little kids all the way up to folks who are confined to their home or with senior centers, and it sounds like there could be potential ways for them to the outreach staff to possibly partner too. But in any kind of I guess sharing information about what's available at community action aid, the local community action agency, that number if folks need assistance with maybe utilities or again, the Meals on Wheels, those kinds of things, and they could potentially reach out to their community action agency local and see what potential offerings that agency has.
Absolutely. And if there are mobile services like that bookmobile, reach out to your local agency, because we didn't touch on it in the PowerPoint, but several of our agencies operate senior centers within the community. So, can the bookmobile come during one of the senior citizens congregate meals and provide the seniors an opportunity to grab a book and a warm meal?
What a neat idea. I think too, and sometimes the bookmobile staff, particularly with those who are homebound or confined to their homes, the book library staff may be the only person that they see, or it could potentially be the Meals on Wheels staff, but so they may notice things that other folks may not realize. If they're coming once a week to bring books or videos, or this is another tool, another community resource for those outreach staff members to have in their kit, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Anybody have questions? I know I've asked a lot of questions and talked quite a bit after Caitlin and Melissa and Margie's presentation. Please feel free, if you've got any questions or suggestions, things that you've thought of as we've been talking, please feel free to bring those to the chat. I will, you can continue to, if you've got a question on your mind, feel free to type it in the chat right now. I'm going to go on and kind of remind everybody that this webinar is made possible by the Institute for Museum and Library Services, and want to thank them for, hopefully that's going to come up, thank them for providing the funds for this. Also, you know that again this webinar was being recorded, and it will be available within a few days or so. You can, if you've got questions, of course, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to, you've got the contact information for all the presenters today, but if you've got questions for me, follow up you think of, and you want to ask me, that's certainly fine. The certificate of attendance will be, you're welcome, Tara. The certificate of attendance will be on your Blackboard. That'll be sent to you later. And thank you to Caitlin, Margie, and Melissa again for this information, for being willing to talk with us about this. Just so grateful for you all to share your time with us today. And if folks have questions afterwards, they can email you. I think that's okay, you've said, and there's resources on the website that we've shared too. Lastly, but not least, I do want to share that when you get a chance, those who are attending from the libraries, if you can fill out the survey, that really lets us know what you thought of this webinar and ideas for other webinars that may be of interest to you. So to share that with you as well. Thank you all for coming today. I'll stop the recording unless anybody, you're welcome, Emily, has any other questions or anything.